Back in October 2019, before the chaos of 2020 had begun, I had a dream to produce the best indie game the world had ever seen. And what better time to follow this dream than after finishing 4 years of university. I was unemployed, in crippling university debt, and ready to begin my journey of becoming the greatest indie game developer that ever lived. I began by learning the ins and outs of the software Unreal Engine and Blender. Working 10 to 12 hours a day, I began designing, sculpting, and visioning my game. I aimed to create a 2-player co-op puzzle adventure game with a nice art graphic style and challenging puzzles requiring coordination and teamwork to complete. Picture a game with aspects of Crash Bandicoot, Portal, and Mario combined. With a combination of my modelling skills, purchased assets, and previous inspirations from games, I began scraping levels together, creating puzzles based around what I knew how to do, and designing levels to the best of my ability. But I was limited by the small amount of knowledge I had in the grand scheme of game design. Although I had a basic knowledge of the software, I was still a complete beginner in some aspects. Implementing multiplayer, for example, connecting players together and making sure they were seeing the same things at the same time was a huge task to accomplish. But slowly, level after level, month after month, my knowledge started to grow. I learned everything and anything I could find a tutorial on. My level design became more streamlined, my modelling more advanced, and my puzzles more complex. And after around 8 months of straight grind and work, I had finished my first draft. But not only did I have a first draft for my game, my coding, 3D modelling, and level design knowledge had gone up exponentially. I knew how I wanted to design my levels, I knew how I wanted my characters to look, and I knew which weak cliché storyline I wanted my game to follow. It was at this moment that I no longer wanted to create a good game. I wanted to make a flawless game which strove for perfection, a game which I would want to play and that I can be proud of. So with my new acquired skills, I went back to the beginning to begin my second draft. I began by redesigning my characters, revamping my levels. I made my puzzles more exciting and more coordinated. My new skills not only allowed me to improve the basics, but more advanced things like lighting, CPU usage, bandwidth efficiency. When working on my level designs, in some cases I could use the same design I had in the first draft and just improve the lighting and models. In other cases, I had to redesign the entire area. Although a second draft is always going to be an improvement to the first, I feel that the levels I've redrafted are far better than I ever expected to achieve, which just shows that you never really know how good you might become at something unless you give it a go. And now, after 1 year of hard work, I now feel like I can design any puzzle and produce any environment. Undertaking this project was a huge task and I've had many struggles along the way, but with all the struggles I've had just as much reward from overcoming them. To think I started with nothing and have progressed this far amazes me to this day. During the development of my first draft, almost every puzzle I completed I was overjoyed with. It's funny to think that now I'm finishing my second draft, 9 out of 10 of those puzzles will be reworked. It just shows how much you can really learn and raise your standard of work by practicing and putting the work in. I hope this video inspires anyone watching who is thinking about starting a project to give it a try. I'm not saying it'll be easy, but I can't express how much it pays off working on something you really have a passion for. And if you're as motivated as I am about game development, I'm sure you'll go places you never thought possible. Although my game is not quite finished after working on it for around a year, I'm one step closer to achieving my dream of becoming an indie game developer. So to any of you out there contemplating taking a risk to follow your passion, I say, go for it.